Welcome! I'm Shelley Netco, life coach, mind and spirit motivator. Today it's really important for me to share some thoughts with you about taking our masks off and finding joy in getting real. Now this doesn't mean a Halloween mask or a Mardi Gras mask, but it's more about the mask you might find yourself hiding behind, so other people don't know what's really going on inside. I shared some thoughts about this today, about the people who are well put together, yet even falling apart. And they wear masks to hide the truth, just like everyone else. I know some women who are in the midst of an ugly divorce, but they're out and about, acting happy, chatting, laughing, going to the gym. They're with their kids, posting on social media like life is grand. But in reality, behind closed doors, when their masks come off, they're paralyzed by sadness and fear. They're barely able to cope with the anxiety and worries about their children and their future. And then there are a couple of dads I know who are buried in a mountain of debt. They're doing their best to make ends meet. They work their butts off week after week. They're trying to bring in the next big deal. They want to keep up with the Joneses because their egos kind of keep them in that light. They make sure that they provide for their kids, but they still have that shiny object syndrome, and so they spend a little more than their wallets say they should. They're the ones you bump into at the baseball field with their family, and everyone looks so happy. The kids have their cute new sneakers on. Everyone's laughing and joking. Everybody seems happy, but secretly, Dad worries every time his credit card is swiped because he's not sure if it's going to go through. Then when they get home behind closed doors, masks come off, and anger and frustration take over. Some of those men choose to get numb with drinks to calm down. Some lose themselves in mindless TV or video games. Some take their feelings of anger and hopelessness out on their families and leave a trail of brokenness behind. Now these are obviously some pretty severe examples or situations, but they're very real. But they're more common than you would think. The one that has me even more alerted or concerned, because it's so common, is that the many women that I know that try to prove that we've got it all together, the ones that prove we are fine and feel like we have to prove it day after day. I know it might come as a surprise to you, but did you know that fine is not actually an emotion? There are emotions like happy, sad, excited, angry, frustrated. I could go on and on. But you can keep going, but fine is not one of them. And I like to say that fine is your inability to commit to an emotion, or your fear of telling someone what emotion you are feeling. So basically, fine is the anti-emotion. Many women, no matter who they are, spend their days walking around wearing the mask of someone who is happy or fine or okay with a painted-on smile. All the while, they're overwhelmed, exhausted, anxious, afraid, lost or empty or unfulfilled or lonely. It's not their fault. And we don't really know whose fault it is. We don't even care. But sometime, somewhere, in their past, in our past, someone has taught us that it's much better to smile or grin and bear it, whether we're struggling or not. Because, well, just because. It's just what we do. And so we do, and we did. And then the 70s came along, and everything got kicked up a notch. I still remember popular TV ads where they told us we could bring home the bacon and we could fry it up too. And then suddenly we were all singing songs. I am woman, hear me roar. Good Lord, as if it wasn't bad enough that we were wearing a mask of the fake happy face, but now we have to add the tough mask and the I can do it all mask. This is a little ridiculous. So with this being our month of self-love, I think this is the perfect time to take a stand and urge everyone to take their masks off. First, get in touch with how you feel and own the feeling. If you're sad, For God's sake, have a cry and eat some ice cream and talk to someone. If you're upset or frustrated about something, talk with someone and try to resolve it. If you're anxious or afraid of something that's coming up or just around the corner, talk with a friend or a sister or a partner. Come up with a strategy of how to cope or approach it. But don't live in fear or worry, alone, walking around with a fake happy face while it eats you up inside. That won't get you anywhere. We all have our weaknesses in our lives. No one has a perfect dream life where everything falls into place and we never have a care in the world. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has upsetting thoughts and emotions. These are the demons that take up the corners of our mind. They lurk in the shadows. But what's crazy is that our egos won't allow us to show our friends or our family how we really feel or what we're thinking because we're afraid they will think less of us. The irony is that everyone else goes through the same thought process. They struggle with their ego and whether they should put the fine mask on too. And when you hear this all spelled out like this, it sounds a little kooky, doesn't it? So, today one of my dear friends, Bobby Joe, hey sister, if you're listening, so she coined the hashtag maskoff comment, and I love it. So I propose we all get on board right away. Now, it won't be easy, so if you're going to take the challenge, give it some thought. It's going to take some work. It takes 21 days to create a habit, 66 to break a bad one. And I think it's time we embrace our feelings and we work through them. Take off the mask of, quote, feeling fine, and find some real joy in your journey. Remember, fine is just a fraud that temporarily will rob you of your sense of connection. So get on board with hashtag maskoff and find out how great it feels to get real. Well, thanks for listening. Until next time, keep it real and live your days. Hashtag maskoff. Remember, God and the universe have your back. And don't forget, we're all in this together.